Okay, so here is the next day, and it's much cooler this morning. And the goal of today is to remove all the R-Tronic stuff out and get this out, as well as see if I am ambitious enough I can get this rear casing out here. So basically, steps are remove R-Tronic shifter. Here's the hydraulic unit, the pumps, and provides pressure for the hydraulic lines for the R-Tronic shifter. After that, remove the rear casing over here. And let's see if I am ambitious enough. I need to take off these transmission mounts and then zip off these fasteners here so I can remove this rear casing over here. And from here, over here, I will have access to all the gears and the shift forks, and hopefully I'll be able to then go in and then take those rods and forks out. As you can see, I'm wearing gloves because I will be dealing with gear oil, gear fluid, because right here, this is the reservoir that holds the gear oil. It's gonna be pretty messy once I go in and try to take these things off. One thing to note here is that this is a hydraulic return hose over here, as you can see. And the factory service manual says if you need to remove this, which I do, to remove the shifter here, this basically needs to get destroyed. So you need to get a knife, cut this rubber piecing off, and then you'll be able to go in and take this off. And if you were to try to reinstall this, you need to get a new hose from the dealership. So that, to me, that was crazy. So but everything should be pretty straightforward. Disconnect everything over here, take off this heat shield, disconnect the hoses that go into the R-Tronic. Probably get rid of some of these electronic connectors here. This is like the transmission speed sensor over here. And then after that, it should be straightforward. Wish me luck. All right, updates on my progress so far. I got rid of all the heat shield, took out all the connectors in the back. I disconnected the pressure hose and the return hose here. And as you can see here, let's see, zoom in here. Oh, you see you have to cut in right here. So next I'm going to actually drain the oil now. So really, what it involves is a 14mm hex nut, and it's gonna go, here is the drain right here. So it goes right here, drain that oil, and then after that I'm gonna drain some of the oil in the transmission cooler lines. There's this one here, and there's another one that goes all the way here on the side. So I'm gonna take those apart, drain some of that gear oil here. I plan to flush this entire line with new fluid, so the whole system will get new gear oil. So let's get to it. So I found out that you can't really just flush the lines with a air compressor because there is a thermostat for the oil transmission cooler. So by default, this is closed, so I will be like just recirculating air from here. So basically, in order to drain the rest of the old oil from this oil transmission cooler right here, I just need to unscrew these two bolts, these two line connectors here, and then drain the oil and then fill it up. So I managed to unhook the lines and got out the entire transmission oil cooler, and right here there were a ton of dirt, literal dirt rocks that collected here throughout the years. And you can see here, that's what all this dirt is. And basically what happened was, like right here, there you go, if I could zoom in, this entire area was just all these fins were blocked by this dirt. It was literally brown, full of dirt. So I went in with a pick, tried to pick everything out. Now I'm gonna lightly soak this area so I can like try to get more of this dirt and debris out, because yeah, if these fins are blocked, there's just less surface area for cooling. So this cooler would be operating at a suboptimal level. So I'm glad that I was able to look in and take a look and get this out and clean this. So if you have an older R8, I recommend you go ahead and jack your car up and take a look behind this oil transmission cooler and see if there is any dirt buildup around here. So after cleaning this transmission oil cooler, my next step is to reinstall it, mount it back up, tighten this down, and then fill about half a quart of gear oil in this cooler. So this cooler will be set. Then I don't have to worry about remembering to fill this cooler afterwards. So yeah, after that, I'll be able to then start taking this first rear cover off, then taking out several of the gears here, that's here, and then after that, figure out how to take these bolts off, and then take off this cover here to access the shift forks and shift rods. One thing to note is that since I'm going to be doing this with the transmission still attached to the engine, it means that I can unzip these bolts, and I need to actually jack up this transmission a little bit in order to clear this bottom bar right here. So that is what I need to do, and that is usually the way to go to save a ton of time versus you having to take off the entire transmission and then have to take off these axles, separate these axles from the flange right here. Of course, before I start taking off the rear and putting those gears on a place that's clean, I need to have a place that is actually clean to put these transmission parts. So yeah, I need to move all these boxes off, and these boxes contain all of the manual conversion parts I have right here. So to clean this and then lay a couple of clean towels, linen-free towels, then I'll be able to lay these gears accordingly, so I won't, number one, lose them, and number two, I'll be able to make sure that I can keep track of what part goes to which gear.